I can see where the argument goes. You can see though, like, but that doesn't mean you're guiltless. It doesn't mean that you should consider, hey, you're making this more available and it's a bad
My
thing.
hands are clean.
But I don't know if I can say you're not a Christian because you're screwed. Your logic might be a little messed up to think that's okay, but this isn't okay. But it doesn't mean you're not a Christian. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And you did make me change my thought process a little bit with what you were talking about with the single issue voter thing. But my other thought is, okay, Biden is a sinner and Trump is a sinner. So no matter who you vote for, we're voting for sinful people who will inherently sin in office.
That's kind of frustrating, this false dichotomy of Trump is evil and Biden.
We're voting for sinners, not saviors?
Just a second.
Exactly.
What?
So, and to be honest, that ties into a little bit ties into what we're going to talk about in a minute with the Catholic Church, I think.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
You know, I think too, as we're looking with the Reformation coming up upon us, right? With Reformation Sunday.
What?
Yeah, that's coming up, right? As you guys were talking about voting and all, and being righteous, you know, ultimately, the way we vote doesn't make us righteous before God. And what we're left with is actually, I think there's a bigger role that we have to play in actually participating in voting rather than abstaining from voting. Like, God has given us government. Our government has determined that people elect its leaders. Is it perhaps the greater sin to not vote at all than to vote for a sinner? And that's maybe a completely different topic for another time, but is the idea of staying out of it just as sinful when God actually establishes government for the purpose of his people?
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't
say
have
that
an
again.
answer to it, but
ask that again.
All right. So God establishes government for his people. Is it then wrong for us in a government where we've determined that we, the people, elect our leaders? Is it wrong for us then to abstain from voting, to say, you know what, I'm not going to vote? So is it more wrong to vote for a sinner or abstain from voting altogether?
Because both of them are messed up.
Right. Yeah, to say they're both messed up, I can't in good conscience vote for either one of them because they're both horrible, you know, godless people. So I'm just not going to vote. So is it wrong then to exclude yourself from the government that God has set over you? I don't know. I mean, vote for the Caesar that's going to rule over you. Maybe Paul has something to say to that in the epistles. I don't know. It's kind of crossed my mind as, you know, because that's something that's very sacred, right? I mean, people are posting online now, you know, their stickers, you know, I voted, you know, back when we were youth, before Tyler was a sparkle in his daddy's eye, the big thing was MTV was rock the vote.
Yeah, that's right.
And maybe you were alive for that, Tyler.
Man, I hate that stuff so much. I hate every time I look on any social media, there's a little paragraph about voting or COVID.
Oh my!
I need them to tell me any of this. It's disgusting. It's just this world is whacked.
I should send you the link for how you can get that off of your Facebook, because you can go to your settings and get rid of that notification.
You could delete Facebook.
Or get rid of Facebook. That's
another option.
Another topic. So are we? I think we're in agreement. You probably shouldn't be saying you can't be a Christian. At the very least, people think inconsistently. They're not evil trying to kill people by voting for Biden or the guy that's okay with abortion, and their skewed vision. I think to tell them you're not a Christian or only a Christian can vote for a guy who's been married so many times. I mean, it's just real hard sell to say that's like the Christian vote. And then, as Tyler, I think, said correctly, it does get your head off of what Christianity actually is. I think pretty huge.
I think what it does is you've established another measuring tool by which you're going to judge who's faithful and who's not. And that measuring tool, once again, is not Jesus Christ in your confession of him.
No mention of Jesus in this paragraph.
So it's just like, we're doing in my congregation, we're doing a midweek Bible study on, it's called dual citizenship, and it's on this whole deal. And the big piece of it is like it's not so much that we're going to kind of solve these issues. It's that I think one of the great terrible things that's happened is we've gotten to a point where the community of the faithful is not a place where we have these conversations too often. And that's a shame. That means then the voices you're listening to have nothing to do with your faith. The voices you listen to are only the talking heads on TV.
That's great.
Instead of your brothers and sisters in Christ. And so we started it intentionally to go through the election, what it'll be, day, weeks, whatever it'll happen.
Years.
Yeah. Right.
And that hopefully we'll be able to have these conversations during it, you know, and say, hey, this is what's going on, you know, and that we will come through saying, you know, look, we're all still here, you know, God's still at work. We didn't, you know, fall off the end of the earth because, you know, a certain person got elected or a certain thing got passed.
That's great. That's a great idea. Encourage that around the world.